Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Zach, and I do readings here with my cards that I made called Monster Garden Oracle cards. They're based on my game Monster Garden, which is available on Steam. And I made all the cards in the deck, and you can pre-order them now if you want to. I'll have some information about that in the description box. But today's reading is the idea for it is that it's like a poker hand. So obviously, or maybe not obviously if you're not familiar with poker, but in poker you get five cards and you try to see which cards in your hand go together to make, not get the most points, but I guess like be the best combination. So what I want to do is if you have some like situation or project or something and you're not sure how this is going to go and you're thinking, should I keep going with this? Maybe now is not the time for this. We're going to look at the cards as if it's a poker hand, revealing how strong your hand is. And from that, you can see, like, should I put all my chips in this and bet really a lot of things on this because there's so much potential? Should I maybe fold? That means, like, give up on this round and try again in the next round? Or should I just keep going and, thinking about your strategy and strengths in this situation? So ideally, this is for something that's like a very particular, like, should I stay or should I go? Should I continue with this project right now, or should I wait for later? Is this the right team and the right timing right now? Something like that. It could be career or business or like a relationship related too, but something about like timing and strategy, and is this the right combination of skills and experiences to pursue with this? And so, yeah, I basically want to give positive, helpful messages. Like, if the message is to fold, it's not like, oh, this is horrible, give up. But the idea is that in poker, you play multiple rounds. So it's like just on the current round, the cards that you got right now, is this really a winning hand, or do you want to save your chips for the next hand and try to get some better cards? So that's the idea for today's reading. I hope it makes sense. Just a little bit unusual, a little bit fun. We're going to have four piles. Each one's just going to have five cards in it. And then we're going to look at those five cards like a poker hand. But I'm going to shuffle my deck and choose the five cards right now. There's one, there's two, there's three, and let's say there's four. There's barely fit. I'm going to choose some objects for each pile so you can choose your pile based on the objects. So for pile one, we'll have this, I believe it's red jasper. For pile two, we're going to have this beach glass. For pile three, let's go big and get this honey calcite for pile three. And then for pile four, the classic driftwood. So pile one, pile two, pile three, pile four. Feel free to pause the video now, choose your preferred pile. You can choose by the cards, your vibe, or by the objects on them. Then go in the description box and choose the timestamp for the pile that you chose, and I'll see you in your reading to see what kind of hand have you been dealt and what should you do with it. All right. If you're still watching, I'm going to move the cards, set them aside, and then get ready to do pile one. All right, so here's pile one. That's going to be one of the cards. I'm going to choose four more. This is like 5-card draw in poker. So again, it's like in your situation, it's like you've been quote unquote dealt this hand. We're going to look at how well the cards go together, what synergies they have. Is there maybe some pairs or triples or sets of cards that work really well together? If all the cards really work really well, it could be like, a winning hand in poker. That could be a full house, or what is it called, royal flush and stuff like that. I'm not a poker expert, but the idea is that certain card combinations might be like really powerful together, maybe two or three. So we'll look at that. So let's start. You've got the world, and I'm going to look at all of these cards right side up, no reversals. I'm just going to look at them as the card. You got the world. This is obviously from tarot. Most of my cards are oracle cards, but I do have 2 tarot cards featuring Lil Nas X. This is one of them. You've got revolution. You've got the star card. Okay, there's already so much star power. There's huge synchronicity in these cards so far. You've got distance and you've got creation. Holy cow. So obviously there's a lot of synergies here. What we're going to look at is what's the best way to combine these cards to make a winning hand, and what would that look like? What would that mean? So obviously right away I'm thinking Lil Nas X, he's a star and he's a creative artist. This is the creative artist card right here. This is the star like MC of the party card. These three are like huge star power, huge creativity cards, all kind of centered around this icon of Lil Nas X, and the world card is obviously about success and completion and celebration. So this would be like an amazing set, triple set to have in your hand. And this is about a business topic. This is like there's a huge dynamic power right there for blowing some minds and stunning, like a stunning art show that grabs attention and actually receives awards. Something new, something visionary. This is the visionary artist card, aka Lil Nas X is the same thing, and this is drawing attention to yourself in the spotlight. So those I would definitely probably think would I put those together in a trio, like it's kind of like three of a kind in poker. This would be three of a kind, but really good three of a kind. There are all these iconic character portraits. Most cards in my deck are from my game, like this card. So these are kind of like major arcana, if you know about tarot. It's like three of a kind of major arcana that are all about focus star power. Now, the other two cards, though, we've got Revolution and Distance. This is kind of an awkward combination. Distance is like monk like retreat from the world and letting things go. Revolution is seizing the moment to stand up for what's best, stand up for who you are, and make a difference. So this is kind of, these don't really have such a good synergy. Although Revolution does kind of go well with these. It's about standing on the table, again, in the spotlight. So if we wanted to like make a more balanced hand, we could do the trio, or we could kind of do two pairs, the world and creation as kind of visionary artist pair, and then these two as like getting on the tables and demanding attention, which is what these two cards are really about. Then we've got two pair with a distance, oddly monk-like letting go of the world and letting things be card. But again, this actually kind of has some connection. If you're like Lil Nas X, he's putting himself out there and you just have to let the results be as they are. He was like challenging things, breaking down doors. So to a degree, he has to let go of control and just let things be and let them flow, which is what the distance card is actually about. So you could kind of say it's almost like a royal flush of all these cards. It's not quite perfect. Like we've got these four iconic character portraits and then one video game graphic that's very different with the monsters. So it's like almost perfect, but there's a little bit of odd imbalance. But you could argue that the odd imbalance is really adding some dynamic energy to kind of keep it going along. So if this is a project, I would say huge potential, and if there's some things that aren't certain, like some uneven parts that you need to work out, like working those out is going to be part of the dynamic process of seeing this project to completion. So it's almost like because there's some bumps and hitches and things to figure out, it's almost a good thing. It's like there's huge power, huge talent, and some things we'll have to figure out as we go, but maybe that will get the best results if we kind of figure out what it means as we go, because there's definitely overlap. It's not a bad hand. So, I mean, just with these three cards in this pretend game of Monster Garden Oracle card poker that doesn't really exist, but I would say this trio, like, this is enough to win a hand. If nobody else had, like, a totally incredible hand, I would think this could win. The three power cards, Lil Nas X, they're all major arcana. Like, I would definitely not fold. I would hold. I would maybe bid a little bit, maybe not go all in, but this is pretty dang powerful. Now let's look for any more combinations. Like these are so in the spotlight, in the sky, in the light, and this one's off in the dark. But this one is kind of in the dark, but lighting up the dark with the power. And this also has the illumination of the window. This is actually also in the dark, but lighting up the dark with light. So all three of these, that's kind of like another trio of like illumination. That's like in a place where things seem dark or confusing or lost, it's like someone, probably you, has the ability to kind of light things up, or this project is lighting things up in your life, providing a guiding light almost, how that's kind of like a northern star, and leading the way for others with the way he's kind of leading the parade of monsters right there. So this is actually a separate little power trio. There's lots of ways this could go, and then you could say Lil Nas X is a revolutionary figure standing on the tables doing what's best for him, which is best for everybody. Like, it's kind of, quote unquote narcissistic to say, I'm so amazing, look at me, which is what many pop stars do. But Lil Nas X doing that was breaking down so many barriers with being a huge, popular, queer artist of color, like putting himself out there completely and quote unquote demanding attention. But the point of this card is that someone's demanding attention, but it's like it says one for all. It's like actually not about them. It's like I'm standing up for all of us. I'm standing up and changing things for the better for all of us, not just for attention or for myself. So these are actually a powerful combo of like change making. So if we rearrange the cards, now we've got a powerful three of a kind and then a really powerful pair. This could be the best way to organize your hand. Focusing on the change making potential of just putting yourself out there, going public with a project maybe. And then the other trio is about like illumination, something about like casting a light on something or finding a northern star, a guiding point that is drawing your attention, drawing everyone's attention, giving them something to go towards. So it's almost like creating a path where there wasn't one, like turning on a light in the distance that people can focus on and see where to go. It's like, yeah, providing guidance. So it's breaking down barriers, it's providing guidance. This project. This feels like the most powerful way to organize the hand, actually. And look how these are obviously powerful together because they're all the illustrations that are meant to look like windows in a room. They all have the same yellowish background. This is like a triptych, a little triptych we've got here of the round windows of major arcana. So I actually like these three together, and then the Lil Nas X in the video games. That's very fun and popular culture. It's like popular appeal relevance. Like, yeah, popular media, social media even. And these are more like at a deeper spiritual level, like providing illumination where there wasn't any, like, yeah, showing the way. Showing the way in a deeper level, spiritual way, emotional way. And on the surface, it's more like just popular, maybe just doing something like creating a product or creating a business or it's making something fun. So it's got the quote unquote superficial level that gets maybe popularity money, but this powerful, deeper illumination level. So with this balance of cards, every card has a role. We got three of a kind and a pair. I would say I would almost put in a whole lot of chips and bet a lot on this. This is a good hand. Great potential that you've been dealt for this project, for this situation, for this team, for this relationship, whatever it is. So, that's your message. I hope this is helpful and insightful to help you figure out what to do. I would say it's pretty much a green light, and kind of it has both long-term potential and like flashy in the moment potential. That's the really interesting thing now. It's like stable on the emotional, spiritual level, balanced with this like deep, powerful illumination, but also like fun, party, social media, colorful, poppy stuff on the surface. So that could like hit both ends of the bell. There's some expression like that, but like the deep and the superficial. That seems to be the notable thing. And now let's just look if there's any other things to notice. I mean, obviously, we've got the like revolution of monsters, a crowd of monsters following a leader. That's another nice little pair of cards here that we could look at the cards in terms of. A parade of colorful monsters following Lil Nas X has all these different like personas. There's like all this variation, this powerful variation and difference of all these different things coming together. And these are more like very solo. These two cards I should mention, these are kind of meditative. They're about focusing your attention on a focal point, like we said with that North Star. One central core focus. This is another way to combine them. Like dynamic parades of colorful creatures in a trio, and then just like still focal points. But it's a similar thing of powerful, dynamic, colorful poppy on the surface, but like stillness and spiritual depth below the surface. So it's kind of like no matter how you rearrange the cards, we're getting similar themes here, and it's a powerful combo either way that uses all the cards in your hand for a powerful combination. So it's like there's variation, there's different paths you could take, there's different ways to organize and structure this, but the stable theme is energy, colorfulness, delight, a varied crowd or parade of color. And that looks flashy, but low key, it's got something spiritual to it. You could say that Lil Nas X is doing something spiritual by being a role model for people who've never had a role model, giving people confidence to be themselves and not feel small anymore. So he's making millions of dollars, but it's also doing something spiritual. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't know the meaning of red jasper, but I do like this little smooth rectangle. It's a little bit uneven. Like when I get smooth crystals, I like them to still be uneven and lumpy. I don't want a perfect sphere, a perfect cube. So I like how this is smooth, polished, but like lumpy and interesting and still natural. That kind of feels relevant. It's like varied, weird, oblong, but it's still got like smooth on the surface, like pop smooth sensibilities. That's maybe a stretch. We're going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I'm going to go on to the next reading now. If you want to keep watching, then I'll just put the cards away and go on to the next one. All right. Pile number 2. This is your reading, your poker hand. You chose the beach glass. There's your first card. Now we're going to put down 4 more. There's a 1. There's a 2. There's a 3. And there's a 4. All right. I'm looking at them all upright, no reversals. We're just looking at the cards as they are. We've got restraint, we've got appreciation, we've got a focus, we've got observer, and we've got sparkling seedling. Wow. Okay, instantly, right away, you've got, I forget what this is called in poker when they're all the same suit. I think it's called a straight or a flush or something. But the cards in the cards in my deck, some of them are illustrated, drawings like these, and some are characters from my video game called Monster Garden. So it's kind of a mix. But you've got all Monster Garden characters, so in that sense, it's like they're all the same suit. So right away, you've got a flush. I think that's what it's called. You have a flush of all the same world of the characters, all these funny little monsters in my game, which is about exploring different strange little worlds and meeting monster friends. Now, what I also noticed right away is obviously these cards are kind of similar in the dark background. We've got restraint, we've got focus, and we've got appreciation. These are all like calm and still and clear. This is about moving forwards, no distractions, direct travel towards some grand, bigger vision. So it's very big and grand, but focused, practical progress towards that. This is kind of just a very similar vibe, actually, of limiting yourself to I'm just doing this one little task right now. I'm not trying to do everything, I'm doing this one little task. And this card is about deep, deep appreciation. Spiritual things, ancient things, just stillness and respect and admiration. So these together are like a powerful trio of stillness, focus. I'm not trying to do everything. I'm just doing one little thing, and almost like my soul appreciates that I'm just focused and still right now. It's very calming, spiritual, still, restrained actions. This is like a great trio of monster energies right there. And then the other two cards, they're a little more light and bright, even yellow. We have Sparkling Seedling and Observer. Now, this is interesting. Sparkling Seedling. Sparkling Seedling is about possibility, delight, um, little seedlings growing up from nothing, a lot of potential, but again, taking your time. It's still kind of slow, focused, practical, long term. Nothing huge right now. It's like we're slowly progressing, slowly growing towards that. And this is about just being in the moment, collecting data. No grander plan right now. It's like, let's wait and see almost. So actually, all of the cards have a lot of synergy. I would put these in a trio still with the calming, restrained energy. And these are a little more exciting, like, oh, there's potential. Oh, there's potential, but we're going to wait and see what does this seedling grow into. We're going to wait and observe what's going to happen. So that I would say this is a pair of kind of like big potential, and this is a trio of we're just going to be calm and focused and still and restrained. So in terms of this project, whatever this is for you, this is a great hand and that it's balanced. There's some really nice themes. Um, they are, if you're familiar with tarot, these are all like minor arcana. So I wouldn't say this is like a blowing out of the water, put in all your chips, but there is a lot of like quote unquote value here. So if this was a hand of poker, I would be like, let's wait and see what other people do. Do they seem very confident? Let's stay in the game for a bit. Maybe not put in too many chips, but we'll kind of see. It's even if you read this as a strategy for poker, it's literally let's wait and see and be sensible. If someone seems very confident and they're putting all their chips, that's fine. We can fold for now and try again with the next hand. This is very like sensible, solid. We don't need to bluff or put in all our chips or go crazy. We don't have to win this hand. It's like we're playing multiple hands of poker throughout the night. So let's just wait and see for now. And first, let's read the room and look at the other players and then make a decision. Um, Calm, don't need to frantically panic. It's like it's just a game of poker at the end of the day, almost like it's just a little game. Yeah, these cards are kind of saying like there's more to life than just this. These are both very wise, like looking at the bigger picture. Wise, almost ancient energy. It's like, let's look at the grand scheme of things. In the bigger picture of my life, or just like human life in general, this is one little game of poker. Let's smile and have fun. It's almost like, let's enjoy the game of poker, and who cares about winning because I have bigger goals than just this poker game. This is getting kind of meta, but it's almost like, let's just play poker as best we can. Who cares about winning this? I have bigger ambitions than this. And whatever happens, happens. We're just gonna like playing this poker game as just one little step on our journey. So on the one hand, I would almost say it's like kind of a weak hand for a poker game. So this is your project. It's like it might not be the most stunning overnight success, but it's a solid, stable, slow grower. And it's kind of like, let's stick with it in the long term. And it's like almost too soon to judge it. So it's like weak in a good way. It's like when you put a baby seedling in your garden, yes, it's quote unquote weak, but that's because your garden just started growing. This is like maybe you founded the company yesterday. So you're like, oh my God, is this a Fortune 500 company yet? It's like, no, because you started it yesterday, but that's not bad. Like, that's normal for a company that you just started. So I would guess that maybe this is a new project or one that's still in the idea stage, and it's like that means it might be unclear. It might feel like it's not impressive yet, but that's normal and sensible. And let's keep slowly nurturing the baby seedling, and let's see what happens tomorrow. And even what happens tomorrow is not the biggest deal because we're also going to see what happens the next day and next week and next month. And it's almost this process of slowly watching it grow is somehow like important for you. It's somehow important for you to have a slow, stable, long term thing. For example, sometimes you have a hobby that's not winning awards right now, And but the fact that it's like slow and small and manageable and you're seeing slow long-term growth could be very reassuring and nice in the bigger picture of your life. It's just maybe just on Wednesday night, you play a little piano in your house or something. And it's like, should I spend time doing this? It's just a little hobby, but it's like a little hobby is beautiful. Maybe you do it every day for years, and then eventually, after years, you kind of have built up a few songs that you can play. And then maybe you do like have a little show for your friends, and that actually could be deeply healing, deeply beautiful. So it's like the fact that it's small and still growing is the beautiful part. That's the value. So like you have a poker hand that somehow like maybe it creates a nice soothing dynamic with your friends to play poker with this. Like maybe saying, "All right guys, I'm going to fold on this one and I'll play in the next hand." That could be like the best way to spend the night playing poker with your friends. It's kind of meta. It's like the relaxing vibe of playing poker is more important than whether you win or get all the chips. So I'd say this is like you could even say like a bad hand of poker in this round, but a beautiful event in the bigger picture of enjoying a game of poker with your friends. So I hope that makes sense. I feel like I got a really clear sense of this project, and I hope I conveyed that to you. And then your object even was where did I put it? The little beach glass. Now I can't even find it. That's funny. It's like it might go missing sometimes, but I know it's here somewhere, so I'll find it later. Really, where did it go? Oh, there it is. It was like hiding. It's like it might sometimes get lost in the rush, and you're like, oh no, I didn't put time into this recently. But it's like it's still there. It was just under that card. If I had stayed calm, I probably would have found it. And I find this so beautiful. It's just a piece of glass. It could be from a beer bottle. I found it on the beach. But I think I love these kind of smooth glass. It's soothing, calming, relaxing. It's beautiful. It's not expensive. It's not stunning. No one's going to be blown away that I have this like precious gem or something. But I love having it. It's nice just to have it right there. So I feel like that kind of matches the vibe of your hand of poker. So yeah, I hope that made sense. And I'm going to go on to the next pile. And again, if you would like to pre-order these cards and get them for yourself, there's info for that in the description box. You can also see a link to my Twitch where I stream readings. I forgot to say this in pile one. Whoops. And I'll put any other relevant links in there. Also to my game that's on Steam. These are all characters from the game, so you really might enjoy playing the game now that you saw some characters from it. But thanks for watching, and I'm going to go on to the next pile. All right, pile three. If you chose the third pile with the orange calcite, this is your reading. So what we're doing is looking at the quote-unquote hand you've been dealt for your project, your situation. The idea is that it's a particular small local situation or problem or project that you want to see like is now the time to push forward with it. Should I wait? Should I kind of maybe even start over from scratch, or what strategy should I take? How much power potential is really there? So I hope you have some sort of idea in your mind right now of which aspect of your life this is for. I think the more focused and specific you are, the better it's going to be. But that's up to you to choose what this is really about. So anyway, let's look at your hand. We have Truth Revealed. I'm looking at all the cards upright. We have the Unknown. This is really interesting already. We have Nourishment. We have Gentle Joy. And we have Universe. Wow, interesting. Okay, let me just take a drink right quick. I need some refreshing water. Oh, tea, actually. All right, sorry about that. Now, right away, these are a powerful duo. Gentle Joy and Nourishment. This is just like, it's funny that I want to drink tea. This is like a soothing cup of tea and a blanket and relaxing music. This is a powerful, powerful pair, but it's like deceptively powerful. It just looks like listening to music and a nice little warm picnic, but sometimes that's the most powerful thing in the world. That's really what we need in life. And yeah, that's beautiful pair right there. Then I also was right away drawn to these cards. They're like big faces, big in your face. I would have never really thought of these two cards as a pair, but now that I think about it, I'm like, it's this big in your face taking up the whole frame. Truth revealed and the unknown. It's like peeling back a layer, taking off a mask, and like seeing, pulling back the curtain and seeing what is the reality of something, which itself could be a little bit scary, or like the unknown, like what was behind, who was behind the mask. And it's just a person back there, but it's kind of like unveiling, revealing, a little bit spooky, but a little bit fun and exciting. So, what an interesting duo already of this spooky reveal and then this gentle little cup of tea. Then the odd one out is the universe. But you know, in poker, sometimes they say like when you have one card, it's like ace high or king high. It's like whoever has the highest leftover card can win. For example, this could be like two pairs. If another player in poker had two pairs, then it would depend on who has the higher high card. So it's like two pair universe high. But why I'm saying that is because this is a very high high. This is Galaxy Brain, stunning art, like vision, so meta that like it's about rearranging the parts of the game. This character like accesses the code of my game and can delete things from the game, add things to the game. It's like meta Galaxy Brain powerful. So as the odd one out, it's like a really powerful odd one out. Like if someone else had two pair, you're gonna win with this as your high card. So it's kind of funny. Two pair this high. I would say this feels stable, like a stable, basic, good hand. It's not a showstopper, but this is like a basic, solid hand, like textbook example of just a basic, good hand of poker. It's not a royal flush. It's not a full house, but it's like, okay, yeah, two pair. This is fine. I'm not going to fold unless someone else had like a full house. So this is like, I'm getting like solid start, solid, stable, like I'm getting really classic. If there was a textbook on poker, there would be like a picture of this hand as like this is a beginner can recognize this. Obviously, it's two pairs, and another one high. It's not a complicated. Do I know the rules of poker? It's like duh, two pair, one extra. So whatever you're doing, I'm feeling like it's very like classically stable, like solid. If it's a business, it's like okay, you have the basics of a business set up. If you're wondering like, oh god, what am I doing, it's like no, this is a solid, stable, normal start. There's both like this is nourishment is literally resources sometimes, so it's like solid, stable, nourishing, but also like spooky, dynamic potential. And then like this stunning Galaxy Brain like side note or wild card. This is almost like a wild card actually. So it's like it's a solid, stable potential with a big question mark almost. So this is a project I would say it's intriguing. It's like if you're not aware of this question mark, it might be saying there's something really big to this that you haven't really noticed yet. Maybe you think it's just a, let's just say it's a simple group project. You're in a group with two friends and you all get fine grades, so the project's probably going to go fine. But it's like little do you know there's some unexpected wild card. Like one of your friends is going to really love this topic and like really go deep in researching, or there's like a wild card where the teacher chooses you to like record your presentation and like present it to the principal. I don't know, but it's like there's some big question mark. This is fascinating. It's like, what should you do about this question mark? I feel like don't abandon this. If you're like me and you like dynamic, showy, stunning things, maybe even think it's a little bit boring, but it's like hang in there, Buster. There's a big question mark. Let's at least wait and see what the question mark is and how it pans out. Or maybe you're in the middle of an awkward time. You're like, oh, how is this gonna go? Like, there's this really confusing project from a client. Should we just give up? But somehow, like, let's navigate this question mark first. Like, this is something is like could shake things up. It's almost like when you're finished with this project, your life or your attitude or the project or the team could look really different. Like could lead to a shakeup in the company. So it's almost like it's about more than the project. With the mask coming off thing too, it's like this will reveal some truths or lead to a big shakeup. So there's a big energy of let's wait and see. Like after the masks come off, maybe it's like a group project, but all the other members of your group are anonymous. Like maybe you've only met them on social media or on Slack, but it's like at the very least, let's meet in person first, and maybe there's going to be a surprise of, oh, it's this person or that person, or like there's almost like there could be something beyond your control in the picture. So it's like we got to kind of wait and see what we're assigned by the teacher or the boss. This is very interesting. And your object is the big calcite, which for me, this is like creative and playful. There's definitely dynamic stuff. So I would like leave a lot of blank parts in the schedule, so to speak. Like we might need to rearrange things a lot when the masks come off and the truth is revealed, not to scare you or anything. But it's like I definitely wouldn't rigidly lock myself into a schedule for the rest of the year based exactly on how things are now. It's like almost like it looks deceptively simple or it looks deceptively basic. But I almost want to say like there's someone involved that is like they're secretly like a master of some skill, or like it turns out one person has a really big skill that had nothing to do with the project. So then it's like we need to change the topic, change the focus. Like maybe what is a good example? Like you started on a project together, the teacher said choose anything, and you and your friends, let's say you all are interested in like marine biology. So you start researching marine biology, but it turns out that like one of your friends actually had this gigantic passion and like burning interest and experience in something totally different like classical music, and somehow just this passion and knowledge they have makes it really obvious that you should shift the focus of the whole project to like researching classical music. This is like a random example, but it's like if you locked it into your schedules, you promised to the teacher that you're going to research marine biology because that seemed good, it seemed basic, and it seemed reasonable at first because you had this like nice vibes and like this like illusion that, or like on the surface everyone said they liked marine biology, but then once people like get open and honest, or you like see who they are, it's like, oh, there was this other passion. We should have like rearranged the entire project and almost start over with this different focus. So actually, if this was a hand of poker, I would kind of say fold. It's like fold this and like try a totally different approach in the next hand. Or maybe like bluff. It's like kind of do something crazy. Fold or bluff and make a huge crazy bluff. Maybe that leads to something much better. Or like almost like fold and suggest that we play a different game instead of poker. It's like, wait a minute, guys, we came, or gals and people, we came here tonight to play poker, but didn't you say that you learned this other really fun game recently? Like, I know we all like poker, but could you explain that new fun game? And then maybe you stop playing poker and then they explain a new game, and that's like 10 times more fun. That's what this is like. It's kind of like, wait a minute, I know we agreed to play poker. Let me just go back to the poker example instead of marine biology. That was really random. But it's like, wait a minute, like, um, someone here like has an idea for a game that's better than poker. Like, let's just wait a second. Maybe we should even make a new game. Let's do some game development. It's almost like don't pass up exploring this question mark. It's kind of like, yes, if you play poker, you're gonna have a stable, basic, fun night. It's normal. Every Friday night you play poker. That's fine. But it's like, wait, explore this question marks. Maybe someone there has like a secret they need to reveal. It's like pause poker game. Are you doing okay, Jane or whatever? Or like, you seem like something's on your mind, or do you want to like sing a song? It's something like total change, and that changes everything. And then it changes to every Friday night you play a different game. or you get together for another reason, and you thought that you all just liked poker on the surface, but it's like you liked what you really liked was hanging out, and there's a better way to do that or something. This is fascinating. Pile 2 was also kind of meta with like getting outside the poker game. This is literally galaxy brain meta energy. So if we were playing poker, I would put down the cards and not even fold or bluff actually, and just say, "Wait a minute, guys. Sorry, I keep saying guys, people. Why are we playing poker? What about this or that? This is really funny." My strategy in the poker hand would be like distract and shift the focus to a different topic that's not even poker anymore. That's like how you're gonna get the most out of your night. Like, look how both of these, they have these little white poofy plant things. How do I point to my things? With the mirroring on the image on the video, it's kind of hard to point. Like, look how this is like the stunning question mark, and there's the same plants on this path. It's like follow these question marks, the question mark energy, and it leads to something really nice. This like big bundle of joy, bundle of fruit. When like the truth is revealed. And this is also like people hanging out having a nice time, almost like they're gathered around playing poker. This is kind of really meta. So yeah, that's what I would say. It's like, sure, the hand is a basic textbook example of a good hand, and it's you could use the hand, maybe you would win, blah blah blah. But it's actually like throw that poker book in the trash can, make a new game, play a different game to really reach the full potential of this big question mark. This is the play and creativity stone for me. It's like, let's actually do some game design. Let's change the rules of poker and make up a new game. I'm going to leave it there. Go on to the last one, pile 4. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that was insightful. I stream readings on Twitch, twitch.tv/WZACKW. There's a link in the description box. If you like this, you might love the readings. And you might want to check out my game on Steam. You might want to pre-order the cards. The cards are available. There's info about doing that in the description box, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. All right, pile 3. If you're here, this is your reading. This is like a hand of poker. So I hope that you have some specific situation or project that you're thinking, should I proceed with this right now? Is this the right team, the right timing? Like, do I have the right skill set for this? Or is this relationship something I should move forward with right now? Should I wait and see? Should I give it a rest for now? Something like this. So let's look at the cards. Knowing. I'm looking at all the cards upright, no reversals. We're just looking at the cards as they are. Ready. Already a lot of thick boy energy, which to me is a very positive thing. Take the lead. Already a lot of power cards. Holy cow. Blank slate. And the Fool, the Lil Nas X Fool. Wow, so many connections right off the bat. It's going to be hard to choose what's the most powerful combo of cards in this one, but look at this. Blue combo. Just looking at the colors, we have a powerful blue and gray combo. Blue and gray to me is very powerful, very mysterious and spiritual and like transcendent. The Fool is obviously about like transcending your past experiences, especially with this Lil Nas X. The blue background represents transcending a difficult past and just carelessly flinging yourself out there with a lot of confidence. This is about bringing your master plan into action, but almost like on a battlefield, but you have the confidence and the smoothness and knowledge and experience to really make it happen. So these are like powerful making it happen, even amidst turbulent times. Very powerful duo right here. At the same time, in another perspective, these are both, like, for lack of a better word, big, thick men in a very watery setting with the watery ocean behind him and kind of the rain dripping down, if you can see that. And water, again, represents turbulence and emotion. So actually I put all three of these together with this, like, turbulent, emotional past struggles, overcoming them, which is what this card is really about, having difficult experiences but emerging much stronger. So this is like a power trio of major arcana of emerging from difficulties with deep power, deep vision, and making things happen. And like a really dynamic, like deep emotional knowledge and like material skill to advance with this plan. And even like just careless confidence like Lil Nas X Fool card. But I could even combine this one because this is about taking the lead and marching forward with confidence. So actually this honestly these three go together as also this focuses on the confidence angle. This is like stunning, sassy confidence, shaking that money maker and marching out there and seizing control. And literally the two of these like have this like staff rod like object like what a commanding leader would hold up, kind of like what a leader would hold up before their armies on the battlefield. So these are more like confident leading the army energy. So these cards can be combined in a lot of ways. Now, yet another way is that these two characters happen to be like from the same like story. They're from like a comic, and they're kind of like a powerful duo of this like gentle internal energy and like the really dynamic, forceful external energy. If you are comfortable with gendered words, you could say it's like divine feminine and divine masculine, very balanced, internal and external, extremely strong, like internally strong, externally strong, leading the way. And so we could say there's a pair. These two together, they come from the same kind of comic story world. These two together with this blue, powerful, moving forwards with a grand plan. These two together really highlights Lil Nas X like using his experiences to make a grander plan happen and build a career. This is very like moving forward with a grand world changing vision. And then the card I haven't talked about is this blank slate card. It's kind of the odd one out. This is a character from my game, and even in the game, this character is the odd one out. It's an awkward little character. It kind of stands in the corner. It's easy to overlook this character. You could play through my whole game and never meet this character. They're kind of a secret character. They're off to the side by themselves, no connection to anything else. So it's really intriguing that this is kind of the odd one out that connects to nothing else. Odd One Out. That's also a series on YouTube by Jubilee that's about guessing who is the odd one out. It'll be like four straight men and one secret gay man, or four gay men and one secret straight man. It's like who's the odd one out. So it's kind of funny. The odd one out is the odd one out. Kind of makes sense. So these could be assorted in so many ways, so many possibilities. Is it two pair? Is it three of a kind? Or like, is it even four of a kind? They almost all four of them have this blue, watery, different meanings of the word strength. Leadership strength, emotional strength, like the strength of carelessness, and then like planning, organizational strength. So you could say this is four of a kind of like all types of strength, even like a powerful, balanced team. So if this is a reading about like a team at work, I would say you have assembled an amazing team. Yeah, when I see this, I literally see like four people that have totally different skills, but they all respect each other and can cover totally different areas. It's like leave the organization to me, leave like the performing and careless fun and jokes to me, leave the deep emotional like knowledge and experience to me, and lead the charismatic like blazing the trail leadership to me. It's like what else could you need? That's every base is covered, and then there's the awkward odd one out. Is there one like third wheel in the team that can't really figure out how to contribute? Is that you? It's like everything is so smooth, and then I'm just a little baby. Whoops. Is you or someone on the team like the left out awkward baby with no experience working with masters? Or if it's school, it could be like you're a little student with amazing teachers. There's definitely like much to learn, and this is actually a good card for learning. This is about input output. This character repeats back whatever it hears. It's like someone says this, I memorize and say it again. So this is actually an amazing reading for learning. If it's a team, you might feel like the hopelessly unskilled one, but actually maybe it's an amazing chance to learn. Just like copy what they do, you're going to learn a ton. If these are your teachers, it's like this is an amazing opportunity to learn a ton. You might feel intimidated, you might feel tiny and small. I'm getting like so big and almost intimidating energy from these. The cards are like too good. And this is like a little awkward left out baby. But I would say like this hand could win the round of poker. It's like you might feel too intimidated. Like there's four good cards, but one bad one. Maybe I should just fold. But I would say no. Put in some chips, stay in the game. You could win this round. These four powerful cards. Other people might just have two of a kind and nothing else, or three of a kind. You have four of a kind. Every base is covered. It's like Major Arcana and then the Mega Major Arcana because there's only two Lil Nas X tarot cards in my deck. And so you might feel like, oh, but this ruins everything. No, you're not ruining anything. It's like maybe there's like one part to your plan that seems imperfect. Maybe it's like a chance to hone that. Maybe it's like this one skill set isn't there, or I'm a little inexperienced baby. What do I contribute? But it's like the huge gap in experience is going to be at the very least an opportunity to learn a ton. Maybe they can only survive in this fast-paced work environment for like 6 months and then get fired, but like learn so much in that 6 months. It's kind of like I have an opportunity to work for the top person in the industry, but I'm a college student. I would be ashamed to be in their presence. But this is like take that internship. I don't want to promote unpaid internships because they're horrible, but this is almost like if you could just use a little bit of savings and a part-time job to make this unpaid internship work. Um, Sorry, my screen turned off. There we go. This is like it would almost be worth it. And even though unpaid internships are horrible, I don't even want to say that. But for example, that type of vibe, it's like actually going all in, almost putting all your chips on the table is kind of worth it. It's like even though it sounds risky and crazy to like move to Los Angeles for this high-powered job, it's like what if things don't work out? But it's like look who you're working with. These people are going to make sure you have what you need. It's almost like you're going to work for Lil Nas X, like you're going to be working with people at the peak of their game. They're like they'll hook you up with an apartment with job and with pay, and like this experience on your resume is going to have you set. So I don't know if you're feeling insecure, or maybe there's someone on your team that feels left out, but it's like just do your best to include them, and it could be a chance for them to grow. Maybe they could grow into the next Lil Nas X, and they're just like still inexperienced. So huge growing, huge potential, something about transfer of skill and knowledge. It's like I think there's some type of idea in this in like science or batteries when there's like um transmission of energy, like a high pressure zone and a low pressure zone, and the fact that they're so different in pressure creates like a huge gust of wind or something like that. It's like a massive difference in the pressure zones creates a lot of wind. I hope that's true, but it's like that where it's like massive experience and skill and zero skill, but that creates a huge flow of energy and a huge gust of wind. So maybe they even appreciate having someone to flow their experience into and teach. It's like there's a lot of like it's a lot of power is generated and it's working for everybody involved kind of. Maybe it's almost I feel like they like having this little intern or PA running around if this is you. Yeah, this is like being a PA on the set of a huge movie. It's like it's gonna be stressful. There's gonna be 13-hour days, but you'll learn a ton and have a great thing on your resume that in the future people might hire you just because you can say, I worked with Lil Nas X on one music video. That's like boom, your career's going now. It's I mean, I'm against burnout culture and overwork, but like maybe for 6 months you could work really hard and it's actually gonna be kind of worth it. This is like the opposite of my normal opinion, but that's what the cards are saying. And out of all the decks, all the piles in this reading, this is the most where I would actually say put all your cards in the middle. I mean, not all your cards, all your chips. This is poker. I would say actually just like go for it. It's just a game of poker. Why not live a little? Put almost all of your chips or all of them into the middle of the table. The other players will be shocked, but it's going to be fun and crazy, and you just might win. Like, bet the house on this, if that's what it's called. Bet a ton of chips. Why not? What if everyone else only has two pair and you win everything and take it all home? Sometimes that does actually happen. This is the best set of cards I've seen all night. Four of a kind, four powerful leadership cards. Don't fold just because one card doesn't fit in. It's kind of like take a gamble, take a risk. Obviously, be safe and sensible. Don't just throw away your savings on like a foolish pyramid scheme. But something is a big opportunity to learn a ton, is what I'm getting. Even though maybe it's a short term job or eventually you have to quit, or like you think, I know I have to quit in 6 months. Why should I do this job just for 6 months? Because you're going to learn a ton and make connections. You'll be connected to these four amazing people. And then you got the driftwood. This is also the vibe of it's just like a little measly driftwood. It's not a stunning, amazing crystal. It's not even heavy. It's lightweight. It could just float away in the ocean. So I might feel like, oh, it's a stupid little trinket. But no, I love this. It's precious. It's part of my collection. And it's kind of just feels like the vibe of this card. Like it's too little, it's too flimsy. Oh no, but no. It's it's not. Like don't undersell it. Don't undersell yourself. Don't feel that this is too flimsy and worthless. Like maybe this is the first object that you collect for your own collection of crystals and little special objects like what I have here. But it's not a bad beginning, it's a perfectly fine beginning. And you can collect more, and then maybe you get this giant, beautiful driftwood that's heavy and solid and build up your collection later. Okay, now I'm stretching it. That was a weird example. I'm going to leave it here. I hope this was helpful. If you like this reading, I stream readings live on Twitch sometimes. There's a link in the bio, twitch.tv/WZACKW. You can pre-order the cards. There should be information in the bio, or the bio, I mean the description of the video. And I hope you'll check out my game. It's called Monster Garden. It's on Steam. These are my Monster Garden Oracle cards. This is the box. You can pre-order them. You can check out the game. You can check out my Twitch channel. And anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.